Welcome back, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back, IWC, to Chaos Corner on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. For today, this date in pro wrestling history for December 22nd. Coming to you live to tape. Wait a minute. Quite the dilemma. I'm live, but I am taping this at the same time. Well, you guys get the idea. 25 feet below the surface of the earth. Fans, I can't thank you enough for being here. It's the end of the week. It's Christmas weekend. So just to give you the quick heads up, this will be the last show for the week and perhaps the last show of 2023, depending on what happens after Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, into next week before New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Either way, I'll be back in 2024. Go to the community page, check out all the updates, and I'll let you know for sure. But through the weekend, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, into next week, there will be no pro wrestling in history today, this date in pro wrestling history, for Chaos Corner. But you never know when I can come up with some content and go live to tape. As we know, one man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. That's right. Follow me on all social media platforms. You know what they are. Facebook, there's 2 accounts. J Brony, for all you ham and eggers out there, and Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian. Follow me on Gitter, Gab, Truth Social, Rumble. On Twitter, aka X, it's at Big Daddy G.O.C. And the G.O.C. stands for the Guardian of Chaos. On Instagram, it's the Guardian of Chaos. Now that we got that out of the way, shout out to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, none of this would be possible. And if he's for us, no one could be against us. And let's remember the true spirit of Christmas coming up this weekend. It's the birth of Christ. Family and friends and loved ones. And being thankful and blessed and grateful. Stay mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually in tune. Stay fit. All right, fans, we're going to get on to an unbelievable event here on Chaos Corner. Now that we've hopped off of all those other social media platforms, let's get down to brass tacks for today, this date, December 22nd, in pro wrestling history. And remember what I bring to you. 50 years, over 50 years of being a scout, an agent, a historian, a researcher, a smark, a mark. That's right, I said it. I'm proud to be a mark. And my over 3 decades of pro wrestling experience as a manager with legends, heroes, rookies, young lions, veterans, and who took the fucking bumps like Jim Cornette, Bobby Heenan, Jimmy Hart, J.J. Dillon, Gary Hart, Captain Louis Albano. The list goes on and on of the precious few managers that not only wrestled, managed, and as managers took the bumps. That's what you get here on Chaos Corner. Making it relatable to you, the fans. We're coming up on those 1,000 subscribers. I know I've been saying it here now for a couple of months, but we're doing unbelievable 2,500 videos here on the channel. And of course, we're right on the precipice of the 4,000 watch hours. Much love and respect to all you guys. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart before we get started here. And of course, Merry Christmas to everyone who follows, who don't follow, who's a subscriber, not subscribed. Just know that I know, and you know that I know that you're watching. So Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Stay safe, stay aware, as I've said. And that's my soapbox and my opening monologue here on Chaos Corner. Again, appreciate what you have, not what you don't have. I'm not here to preach to anyone, but it is my channel. Okay, no PayPal, no Venmo, no Vel, no Patreon, no paywalls. What you get is you and me, the G.O.C. Let me adjust here. Big shout out to the legendary Hall of Famers, the original Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika. And you see the memorabilia, briefly what's behind me. Pictures of myself and Mr. Chuck Zito. The living legend Bruno Sammartino, X-Pac from D-Generation X, Jerry the King Lawler, my appearance with The Rock. Of course, over here, the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame Class of 2019 poster. Slam Jam 99, where I took over as commissioner for Bruno Sammartino. You can see also on there the legendary Bushwhackers, Sid Vicious, the giant Primo Carnera, a.k.a. Big Guido from the FBI. So let's get down to brass tacks. Enjoy yourself. Get a snack. Get a beverage. Just speaking of that, before I get going here, because again, as I always say, this is going to be an extravaganza, a bonanza here on Chaos Corner for this date in pro wrestling history. A lot of good stuff I have to report. And this is what you get here. Not just entertainment from me as a part kayfabe and shoot. So you get to know me besides just the character. You get facts in order, making it relatable. Not an unnecessary podcast or TV series or reality show. You're getting actual facts and proof here on Chaos Corner, because that's what I provide. No bullshit. I know I cover all the big time currently in 2023, from WWE to AEW to New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, ROH, as I said, NWA. I'm repeating myself. And my home at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. That's what I do. Still doing broadcast and the color commentary work as well. So stand by. I got to get hydrated here, man. Pehaoi, melihini kane, pupule, wiki wiki. Aloha and mahalo for all my friends out there. Konnichiwa, bitches. Origato from Chaos-san. No me joda maricón, muévete, culo pendejo. I'm only kidding, man. It's a work, man. Kayfabe, relax. That's what you get here. How about that? Banging out 4 languages in less than what? A minute? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Let that marinate. Stand by. No, don't go anywhere, man. Oh, nothing like... Listen, for as much as I like coffee and tea, you know, the occasional cocktail, there's nothing like water with lemon or just straight up water. It's the lifeblood, the life source. School is in session. Take out your notebooks, sit down, and let's get rolling here, because there ain't no half-stepping with the G.O.C. In order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. Once you do that, you open other people's minds to respecting you. And there's 3 types of people in this world. Those who don't know what happened, those who wonder what happened, and people like the G.O.C. and my subscribers, you the fans, that make fucking things happen. And I apologize for cussing. I don't have to, but it just happens sometimes. I gotta adjust the change. You know, I spent 25 years behind the walls. That's why the significance of the chains. You get it, right? Read the mint, go to the community page, look at the profile. Here we go. We're going way back in the time machine. December 22nd, 1917. Waldek Zbyszko defeats Ed the Strangler Lewis in a tournament final to stake his unrightful claim, that's Zbyszko, as the world heavyweight champion in New York City. He would lose to the rightful champion, Earl Caddick, on February 18th, 1918 in Des Moines, Iowa. How about that for priceless facts of information and history? Fast forward into the time machine. December 22nd, 1941. Wild Red Berry defeats Billy Varga to win the NWA World Light Heavyweight title in Hollywood, California. December 22nd, 1950. Frank Stojak defeats Leo Wallach in Tacoma, Washington to win the Pacific Northwest Junior Heavyweight title. December 22nd, 1954. Ricky Dozan becomes the first and only Japanese heavyweight champion in Tokyo, Japan. Konnichiwa, bitches. Defeating Masashiko Kimura. The title would be abandoned on August 27th, 1958, when Ricky Dozan defeated Lou Thez for the NWA International Heavyweight title in Los Angeles, California. Ricky Dozan, talk about legends. Talk about Lou Thez, legends. Talk about Ed Strangler Lewis. That's what you get here on this channel. Facts. You're learning something. You're not sitting there talking to somebody who's never been in the business, who's never stepped in a ring, who knows nothing about nothing, just some regular guy who decided to start a podcast. You get my experiences and actual facts. That's what you get here on this channel. Keep that in mind as you watch this channel. You're not sitting there wasting your time, not learning something. You're here to learn. I'm here to teach you. Back into the time machine, December 22nd, 1956. Enrique Torres and Ronnie Etchison defeat Ben and Mike Sharp for the San Francisco version of the NWA Tag Team titles in Fresno, California, ending the Sharps' 12th reign. December 22nd, 1969. Mr. Saito defeats Dale Lewis to win the Florida heavyweight title in Tampa, Florida. We move on here on Chaos Corner. Today, this date in pro wrestling history, December 22nd, 1970. Tarzan Tyler defeats Dusty Rhodes for the Florida Brass Knuckles title in Tampa, Florida. The very next year, December 22nd, 1971, the Australians, Larry O'Day and Ron Miller, defeat the Alaskans, Mike York and Frank Monte, to win the Florida Tag Team titles in Miami, Florida. The very next year, December 22nd, 1972, Tarzan Tyler wins a tournament to win the vacant Florida Brass Knuckles title in Tampa, Florida. The title was stripped from champion Dusty Rhodes for his violence towards the NWA president at the time, Sam Mushnick. Let that marinate. Back into the time machine. December 22nd, 1979. Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk defeat Invaders 1 and 2 for the WWC Tag Team titles in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, beginning and ending both teams' second reign. Say that 3 times fast. December 22nd, 1980. Superstar Bill Dundee and Wildfire Tommy Rich defeat Guy Mitchell and Roger Kirby for the AWA Southern Tag Team titles in Memphis, Tennessee. Fast forward into the time machine, December 22nd, 1990. Bull Power defeats Otto Vons to win the Catch Wrestling Association heavyweight title in Bremen, Germany, ending Vons' 4th reign and beginning Power's 3rd reign. The very next year, December 22nd, 1991, Ricky Rice defeats the Lightning Kid, aka X-Pac, Sean Waltman, for the Pro Wrestling America light heavyweight title in Minneapolis, Minnesota, ending the Kid's 2nd reign. We fast forward in the time machine here at Chaos Corner. Again, thank you fans for being here. I hope you're taking notes. December 22nd, 1996. Buddy Wayne defeats Bart Sawyer to win the Championship Wrestling USA TV title in Vancouver, Washington. The very next year, December 22nd, 1997. Long before Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan, or actually Nash let Hogan with the finger poke of doom or whatever they called it, pin him with just a simple push of the finger. If you guys remember that in 97. I'm already in my middle to late 30s at that point. I don't know where half you geeks, goons, virgins, dweebs, dorks weren't even born. Pencil neck geeks, brain of dehydrated BB. No offense, man. It's not meant towards my subscribers and people watching. It's for all you randoms that are stalkers and creepers. Because I know. I have the analytics to check it, you dumbass. So long before that, very infamous garbage in wrestling at that point, 1997, with the finger poke between Nash and Hogan. The commissioner of the WWF at the time, Sergeant Slaughter, at the start of the show on Monday Night Raw, ordered Shawn Michaels to defend the WWF European title against DX partner Triple H. Now, there was a lot of heat between the two that night. I'll get on to that in a second. When the bout took place, the Heartburn Kid simply laid down in the ring and let Triple H pin him for the title. Now, I know the European title doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, and the WCW title at the time meant much more. I get that. But it was all an act. When it was showing the growing tensions on 97 during the Monday Night Wars and Monday Night Raw, during the show, the argument and all that between Triple H and Shawn Michaels, DX, if you're not down with that, I got 2 ways. I get it. I'm not going to say it. It was all work. It's pretty simple. It was all an act. The Monday Night Wars for that night in 97, the ratings were won by WCW Nitro with a 3.5 to Raw's 3.1, which at the height of their wars, that they were in the middle fours and sometimes in the low fives. You couldn't carry their jock straps today. WWE, AEW, none of you even come close to this. AEW can't break 1 million viewers. WWE is lucky if they get a 1.5 million on some shows, and on bigger nights 2 million. Unheard of to get 2.5 million for WWE. Let that sink in, fans, for current day. We stay in December 22nd, 1997. Gato and Jado defeat Yamakawa and Yoshihiro Tajiri to win the Big Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team titles in Izaki, Japan. Konnichiwa, once again. We fast forward. December 22nd, 2000. The Christmas Day edition of Raw that's taped in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Raven wins the hardcore title. Let that sink in for a second. Champion Steve Blackman pinned Hardcore Holly on the hood of a car, Crimea River, real glass, to be apropos and make it relatable in 2023, in a three-way match with Raven to retain the title. But Raven then hits Blackman with a 2x4 and pinned him for the belt, taking advantage of the 24/7 rule at the time for the title. That was the first, now listen to this carefully, this is what you get here, facts. That was the first of an eventual 27 hardcore title wins for Raven, aka Scotty Flamingo. We move on here in a time machine to the very next year, December 27th, 2001. AJ Styles defeats Rick Michaels for the NWA Wildside Heavyweight title in Cornelia, Georgia. We stay in the same year, December 22nd, 2001. 2001, if you will. Potato, tomato, tomato, potato. You guys get it. I have amnesia and deja vu at the same time. I think I've forgotten this before. You guys get it, right? Listen, you know I'm busier than a blow-up doll at a frat party. I'm as confused as a baby at Hooters. Sasaki and Sasaki the Great defeat Dick Togo and Gato to win the Universal Wrestling Association, Universal Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Tag Team titles in Tokyo, Japan. Say that. Now that was a mouthful. December 22nd, 2005. Derek Newkirk defeats Mike Mizanin, a.k.a. The Miz. Right? The Miz, give him credit. No matter what you want to say about him. Not only is he married to Maurice, who's easy on the eyes, he's been around for a long time. Talk about longevity. Whether he's a geek, a nerd, whatever you want to call him. Started from the real world. He certainly said he was going to do it, and he did it. Anyway, Newkirk defeats Mizanin, The Miz, for the Deep South Heavyweight title in McDonough, Georgia. December 22nd, 2006. In the shadows of Titan Towers, here in the greater New England tri-state northeast area, Ring of Honor in Hartford, Connecticut. Here's the lineup. Jason Blade defeats Pele Primo. Austin Aries goes over on Eddie Edwards. Adam Pearce defeats Delirious. BJ Whitmer and Daisy Hayes defeat Jimmy Jacobs and Mercedes Martinez. Colt Cabana defeats Albright. The Kings of Wrestling, Larry Sweeney and Chris Hero, defeat Jay and Mark Briscoe, Dem Boys. Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, defeats Jimmy Rave, Homicide, and Nigel McGuinness in a four-way match. Roderick Strong, Roddy, you annoying son of a bitch, although you're talented, beats Davey Richards via countout. This was for the FIP heavyweight title. In the main event, Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal defeat Sema and Shingo to retain the Ring of Honor tag team titles. It wasn't that long ago in 2006, and look at all the names on that roster that are currently in the WWE and AEW. Stars. That's what I bring you here. History to look back on, to know where people came from, when they debuted, where they came from, what their history is, what they've done in the business. That's what you get here on this date in pro wrestling history from your old buddy. Well, that's me, your old buddy. You guys get it, right? The old man brand, the over 50 demo god, that's me. December 22nd, 2007, WWE signs former TNA wrestler Nuevo Gran Apollo, a star in Puerto Rico for sure, but he never made it to the WWE's main roster. Talk about wasted talent. December 22nd, 2008, NBC canceled the American Gladiators, which was hosted by none other than Hulk Hogan. We go to the very next year, December 22nd, 2009. The WWE announces that Iron Mike Tyson would be a guest host on Raw's January 11th, 2010 card in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, we know Tyson was in AEW just recently in the last year or two and was a big part in the WWE for some big events. Iron Mike, certainly one bad man. We fast forward here in the time machine. Pay attention, fans. Another card with current stars from years back that are on the big rosters in AEW, WWE, and TNA, Impact, and Ring of Honor, and New Japan here in current day 2023. On Christmas weekend, December 22nd, 2013, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla in Reseda, California. The Rock Ness Monsters defeat P.P. Ray, Willie Mack, the Chocolate Dusty Rhodes, a.k.a. the Chocolate Juggalo, and B-Boy in a six-man tag team bout. Some pretty weird names and pretty cringeworthy guys on this show, as well as some guys that are legends and went on to be superstars in current day. Tommaso Ciampa pins Tony Nese. The Best Friends defeat Michael Elgin and Brian Cage. Chris Hero submits ACH. The Dojo Brothers, consisting of Eddie Edwards and Roderick Strong, defeat AR Fox and Rich Swann. Ricochet pins Davey Richards. Whenever I say Ricochet, I think of Ricochet Rabbit. Bing, bing, bing! Drake Younger, Joey Ryan, that scumbag, and Candice LeRae defeat the Young Bucks and Kevin Steen, a.k.a. Kevin Owens. The PWG champ, Adam Cole, baby, boom, pins Johnny Gargano to retain the PWG championship. And of course, at the end of the show, Sockface, a.k.a. Excalibur, came out to thank the fans. But listen to the names on these rosters, whether it be Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, the Territory Days, and where these talented guys and gals and stars came from, and where they were, and what they did long before they hit the big time in a couple of major leagues here in 2023 that you never knew about unless you come to this channel or do your own due diligence and research, which I know a lot of you guys don't, and that's why you come here, and I'm thankful for that. December 22nd, 2023, which is today, Friday. You know what today is, right? It's the big public release in movie theaters around the country for the incredible Von Erich story, The Iron Claw, comes out today. So for all you Von Erich fans, World Class Championship Wrestling fans, pro wrestling fans, young and old, I hear the reviews are unbelievable for The Iron Claw. And we just saw third generation Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross Von Erich in AEW with their dad, Kevin. And if you got to be well aware of the Von Erichs, and I know that you are, so go out and support this movie. I know that I'll be going to see The Iron Claw. That's released today to make things current and relatable here in 2023. We move on here in the time machine. We go forward to go back and back to go forward. December 22nd, 2012. Rip Hawk passes at the age of 82 years old. Now, if you don't know about Rip Hawk, I'm going to let you know. He was a Korean War veteran, wrestled for over 30 years, teamed with raw-boned Swede Hansen. They were known as the Blonde Bombers and held multiple regional tag team titles. Now, Rip Hawk also teamed with the Nature Boy Ric Flair to hold the NWA Mid-Atlantic titles. So rest in peace on this date in pro wrestling history, a true legend, Rip Hawk. Do your research, fans. We go forward to go back. December 22nd, 1982. Christmas Day in front of over 12,000 fans at the Reunion Arena. Christmas Wars by World Class Championship Wrestling. See, in 1982, what was I, like 20 years old? I remember this like yesterday. The beginning of the Freebird and Von Erich legendary feud starts on this night, December 22nd, 1982. Speaking of Iron Claw, making it relevant, you see how it all flows here, right? You see how it happens here on Chaos Corner. Let's run down the card. Kerry Von Erich challenges Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight title with Freebird Michael Hayes as the special ref. Well, here's the caveat. At the end of the bout, with both men down, Hayes drags Kerry Von Erich on top of Flair and counted 3 for the fall. But Kerry Von Erich refused to win the match that way, which pissed Hayes off, who then awarded the bout to the Nature Boy. Hayes and Kerry got into a verbal altercation when Terry Bam Bam Gordy comes to ringside to the steel cage, and as Von Erich tries to leave the cage, slams the steel door on the head of Kerry Von Erich as he attempted to exit the cage, thus starting the years-long feud and rivalry between the Freebirds and the Von Erichs. That's right, the fabulous Freebirds. And you saw the throwback shirt I had the other day here on the show. Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. Bad Street in the whole USA. Bad Street, nasty and hot. The further down the block, the further down the street, the worse it got. Bad. No? Too early? I can do it as good as Michael Hayes or as good as the singing wrestler on TikTok. Go check out my old buddy, my former podcast partner, current owner of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, co-trainer of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, along with legend Pretty Paul Roma. He was in the WWF from 84 to 92, the youngest grappler at the time in the World Wrestling Federation. Debut match of The Undertaker, Greg the Hammer Valentine, the Hart Foundation, Ted Arcidi, Biff Busick, Ted DiBiase, the list goes on. And that would be Mario Mancini. I know you're watching, Mancini. You say you don't. You kayfabe me. I know this isn't Cheap Heat Productions with your buddy Maurice, but I know you're watching. I know it's not Jack Kilby from Great North Wrestling. So go check out the singing wrestler on TikTok and one Mario Mancini. Also on that card, December 22nd, 1982, Christmas Day to Christmas Wars for World Class Championship Wrestling. Earlier in the night, before the main event of Kerry and Ric Flair with Michael Hayes as the ref and the start of this Freebirds and Von Erich feud, David Von Erich, subbing for Buddy Jack Roberts, teamed with Michael Hayes and Terry Bam Bam Gordy to win the WCCW 6-man tag team titles. Not the fucking trios titles they want to call it now. How about a little tradition and honor and respect for those who paved the way, the true carpenters in this business? Trios titles. Stick it up your ass. No offense. And they defeated for the titles Iron Mike Sharp's Canadian 6-man tag team for those titles. So you see how it was all intertwined back in the day, here in the early 80s, in world-class championship wrestling with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds, and where it started. Also on that card, Kevin Von Erich defeats King Kong Bundy by disqualification to retain the American title. David Von Erich, not only did he team up with the Freebirds to win the six-man tag titles, he defeated Wild Bill Irwin to retain the world-class Texas title. Again, Christmas Day, over 12,000 fans at Reunion Arena. Back into the time machine. December 22nd, 1997. Monday Nitro was taken over by the New World Order. Too sweet. Those were good days for Nitro and WCW and the Monday Night Wars. And there weren't too many other gimmicks and factions better than the NWO. Just my opinion. The show ended with Bret Hart staring down Hulk Hogan as Sting ziplines into the ring, playing the whole ring psychology, emotional investment, and storytelling on Hulk Hogan, leading to Sting versus Hogan at Starrcade that year, where Hulk and Sting went heads up and Sting won the world title for WCW. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. December 22nd today, happy birthday to Luke Gallows, who turns 40 today. Now you remember Luke Gallows, right? The O.C. with Carl Anderson, his tag team partner. He was in the Aces and Eights and Impact, if you remember correctly. He also wrestled in the WWE before as Festus. You guys remember Luke Gallows was Festus. Duck, duck, go it. Google it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. They held the OC, held the Raw tag team titles. They were in a Bullet Club in Japan. I believe they still are. Gallows and Carl Anderson certainly being wasted in WWE at this point. December 22nd, 2021, just 2 years ago. Corporal Kirshner from the WWF days passes at the age of 64 due to a heart attack. Rest in peace, Corporal Kirshner. Also, December 22nd, 2021, two and a half years ago, AEW Dynamite, to keep it current and relatable here in 2023, CM Punk teams with Sting and Darby Allin, perhaps three of the most influential wrestlers for their generation. Sting in his generation, in the late 80s into the 90s, even current day. A Punk in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and even in the current day. And for the newer, younger generation, Darby Allin. As they went on to defeat the current AEW heavyweight champion, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. And let's see where they are now. Punk has transitioned over to WWE. Crimea River, right? Sting is getting ready to retire in 2024 at like 65 years old. Darby Allin, the high-risk taker, extremely dangerous guy in the ring. One of a kind. Current MJF, right? Heavyweight champion. And perhaps one of the best tag teams on the planet right now in 2023. FTR. So not only do I go back to 1917, 1918, we keep it current here in 2023. That's what you get on this channel. That's what you get from the Guardian of Chaos. And that's what I love bringing to you guys. You could tell that this is my motivation, my passion, my dedication. I hope it comes across to you guys here on the channel, on the video. Whether you're listening to a video, on audio, because we are on audio on Spreaker. So just a big shout out to everyone. And again, I'm pretty sure I won't be here through the weekend, through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Not sure what's going to happen for the following week between Christmas and New Year's. I'll be very busy. A lot of projects going on. You got to pay attention, obviously, to your family and friends and loved ones. But I'm working on some big things for the channel on 2024 as we get ready to go live and maybe even monetize. I don't even care if we monetize. But if it comes in, who am I to look a gift horse in the mouth, right? We all got to earn a living. We all got to have respect. There's plenty of room for every one of us. I'm just a small portion, an insignificant cog in the wheel of podcasts, TV shows, reality TV, because that's what I consider myself, an episodic channel here on what I provide. If anyone can put out over 2,500 videos in a couple of years, you know they're working hard at their craft. I don't get paid for this. I do it out of love and passion, just like with you guys. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share this out, email me, inbox me. And again, Merry Christmas. And I'll say it in case I don't come back. Happy New Year. And as I always say, stay safe, stay involved, stay aware. Tomorrow's not guaranteed for any of us. Stay prayed up and stay in faith, and I mean that. There's no Bible thumping. It's just telling the truth. If you're not a Christian and spiritual, I don't know what to tell you. That's on you. I don't judge anybody. It's not what I do here. So I'll say that to say this, because I tell it like it is. Don't you dare miss it, and stay tuned to the community page here on the channel and all my other social media platforms. Merry Christmas.